Hey, what's up, guys? We're going to do a 15-10. I don't know what I'm going to get. Well, I'm going to get black against the 1405. And already, you know, at this point, I feel relatively comfortable. And we have the Italian, which is great. Opponent is playing far too quickly. Look at this. 1.4 seconds for move 2, 1.3 for move 3, 1.4 for move 4, and now, suddenly, he hits treacle, you know? I mean, he literally snatched. 1.4 seconds is too fast. I don't care, you know, how obvious the move looks. And for accepting a gambit as well. So back goes the knight. Now, you can here play pawn to d5, but I don't really know and trust that line too well. Because if pawn to d5, there is queen h5 check. And you have to move your king, I think, to e7. Now, it is actually, according to the engine, it's better for black, that line, but... Okay, so here I can play d5 with tempo. They take, they simply lose a bishop. We can trade queens, it's fine, I'm up a piece, I'm going to win. He says with unshakable confidence. Right, now it's bishop takes f5. Now, I can play my moves a bit quicker, but again, I'm taking 6-8 seconds or whatever. Not in that instance. Okay, he takes. Now we have 1, 2, technically 3 ways to recapture. I tend to like bishop takes, and I'll tell you for why. It's because it comes with a threat on g2. However, I don't know if knight takes is the better move. I've got a feeling. But a feeling that knight takes is the engine recommendation. I also like the fact that the bishop defends his pawn, although the pawn is defended twice. So, you know, really, is that worth writing home about? No. Also, that I'm going to take with the knight. Actually, I've just removed the defender of the effing pawn, haven't I? But let's pretend it's a gambit. I didn't think that through. So we are gambiting this pawn. Okay, maybe this needs a name. So what if you take... There we go, he's taken with the bishop. Now, what we have is 1, 2, 3 pieces out on the board, right? The knight is shielding b7. I have bishop c5 with an immediate threat of that. Or that. I think this is what we must do. So let's just check this. If he goes here with check, I win the bishop. So meh, right? All 4 minor pieces out on the board. What's white got for his pawn? One thing. Okay. Now I get to trade queens, break my opponent's... okay, I'm not going to play it immediately. I nearly snatched. Got 14.5 minutes, kids. 14.5. So all I've got all the time in the world. Tradey. King must take. It's the only legal move. I get the bishop. I get the bishop pair. I'm attacking this. I'm attacking this. I can also actually throw in an intermediate long castles with check. Right? But here, bishop. I don't really want to trade bishops. I would like to keep the bishop pair. Thank you very much. And in return for an f pawn here, I think I'm a happy camper, right? I think he's got to play this because it's the only way to defend both pawns. Both pawns are actually hanging, undefended, right? He's got to play f3. And at which point, I think I will throw in the intermezzo. Check now. This is arguably a weakening, right? Okay, he blocks. Now my bishop is on prise, but not from the knight, because the knight's in a pin. But it's on prise from the pawn. And my hunch is easy bishop g6. I think that's like a no-brainer move, because it's a protected square. Why not put my bishop there? Now what I'm thinking is, look at this knight coming in. I think we've found ourselves a gambit within a gambit, kids. Completely by accident. What the hell is that? Okay, here or here. Actually, here might be better because it mainstays the pin on the knight. Sorry, sometimes I forget the English words, you know. That's what you have to do. Just say, I forget what it is in English. Okay, let's say knight b4. I'm attacking this pawn now twice. Is he going to have to push it again? There is also an argument to centralize the rook. Also putting pressure on there. I could drop my bishop back to f7. I'd like to pressurize the knight as well, though. So let's have a think about other ideas. Having said that, the knight is itself defended 2 times. I could do this. But what I haven't done, I've omitted something. I haven't said what is the purpose of this knight move. Now, I don't think he was worried about me trading off, because look, on a board like this, double bishop action, right? I think he's coming here. That's what I think. So part of me, I mean, I could try like this. So I just said putting my bishop on a protected square, right? And then I think he's thinking about this, knight h3, knight f4. Then I might have to move my bishop. Which is not end of world. But if I, for example, sorry, the knight's there. If I, for example, were to put my bishop here, putting pressure on the pinned knight, this prevents this move. That is more than de-encouragized. That is preventilated. And maybe then triple up the pressure. Huh? You like it? Maybe here, tripling up pressure. But I like centralize. Okay. Now this defendeth not the knight. I can now drop back to h6. And this knight is 1, 2 moves away from attacking me. But I should probably play like rook 8, rook hf8 in this instance. Is there any kind of silliness going on here? What if I did this anyway and say, go on then, take it. Take the thing. Take the bishop. There's no point in that. Okay, I'm going to go with this plan. 12 minutes on the clock, heaps of time. Opponent's still playing too quickly. He can't come in here. Anyway, what am I talking about? He can't come in here. My bishop's guarding those squares. And I'm maintaining the pin on the rook, on the knight with my rook. And I still have plans. I probably won't go there because I don't think it would be in my interests to give my opponent a free piece. This could be a problem. So I have rook d5, which practically prevents it. I mean, I would win my pawn back. Yeah, losing the bishop pair in the process. But at the same time, you've got to bear in mind, this rook here, and in fact, this bishop, that's 8 points of material not yet playing. Okay. Another option is to trade. Bishop must take. Then we could resurrect plan A and bring the knight round to pressurize the bishop. That also pressurizes b2 pawn. But if I bring the knight here, I think we'd find b3. b3, and I have no dark squared bishop because I've traded it off. So what's he thinking? He's thinking this. So I need to... That was a bit silly. In retrospect, I think he's done right as the boy. So trades, bishop takes, knight here to come here, probably b3. Let's just figure it out. That's what you do, right? The bishop can't take, it's pinned, right? Bishop's on this square. I go there. Let's say he goes b3. That takes away both my knight's forward squares. Takes here. Attacks this pawn. Actually, that might be preferable. Or it's rook d5. Now, if rook d5, we maintain the pin on the knight, that's good, and we do encourage knights this. So I think that is just because it also then allows rook hd8, which puts double pressure. Sorry, excuse me, triple pressure on the knight. So you do that, I take. Knight takes, bang, and you're going to have these unfortunate split pawns, and you've got still behind in development. So it's Aswin Kumar 863. Is the opponent. Oh. Bugger. Right. I think in situations like this, you go on the offensive. Ah, that was just silly. I have no pawn. I've blocked my pawns. It's like all my options. So hang on. So what's going to happen? He's going to do this. Takes. Pawn takes. Yeah, he's got knackered pawns. Or I take knight takes. That just forks these, and no, we're not doing that. So I just have to give up. That was really silly. But at the same time, every silly... Hang on. Do I have a counter? Well, the bishop's still trapped, right? If I let him take, then I've got ugly pawns. If I attack the knight, though, he moves the knight. Hang on. Or do I just forget about that and say, actually, I'm coming after this knight? It's defended twice. Or do I go there and threaten this? He has that. So I go here, he just takes the bishop out of spite. I go here, king goes there. I think I want to kick the knight away first. Now if he takes the bishop, I take knight. If he takes here, my rook is guarding, so that's okay. This is a counter attack. Knight moves, I take, takes. Or do I just let him take? Let him take, leave him with the extra pawn. You don't, you have to say to yourself, takes and takes is bad for me. Okay. Takes. He's going to want to play h4 at the first opportunity. So, right, takes. Knight here, threatening c2. But he's connected his pawns there, you see. So I'm going to play knight d4 first, and he's going to probably snatch at this. But no, he can't really, because that's going to lose this pawn. Right now he's a pawn up, so I've really screwed up there. Acknowledged. However, I do have king kahuna pressure going on. I actually have this as well. That forks both rooks, which is a bombastic move. And which rook do we take? The active one that's on the open file, not the one that's still in the box. Obviously. If you've got a choice between taking a good piece and a bad piece, first you have to recognise what a good piece and what a bad piece is. That's a clever move. But can I counterattack the knight again? Right, so I'm just threatening like to take with the bishop. Rook takes, and my spare rook is still pinning this knight. You see, both rooks are involved in the pin. Now, oh my goodness me, now it's getting sharp. Crikey. Crikey! Okay, has to be rook takes, right? Rook takes, attacking rook. Takes. I've got two pieces on prise. Rook takes. There? I mean, I've also got this move. That just loses the rook outright. So I think I can't see any... Oh, numerically. Okay, now this has to be done. Okay, I'm currently only one material down. So this is not the end of the world. Okay, do I take here? My opponent's pawns are not pretty, to say the least. However, if I let him take here, I've got no dark square bishop to recover that pawn, right? And I need to stop him getting his stuff out. I think I might need to take. But then if I go after this pawn, we're going to have that. I also have a check. I think that might help my opponent. My mind is already turning to creating a study for my new gambit. Here, and he takes. There's just ain't no way to recover the pot. Right, I'm gonna trade it off here. So what we've got now is a major material deficiency. Right. However, the compensation is piece activity. But I am not confident. I wish I had two rooks, because there's a checkmate, potentially. The bishop on here. Should I like throw my rook out into the board, try and do this? I'm going to try it. It's like... It's a bit of a help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, but there and try for a cheeky checkmate. It's actually no, because the knight blocks. I take the knight with check. King comes here, hitting the bishop. I retreat, but I've won my piece back. So I'm expecting h4, in which case I'll play rook h3, then bishop here, and he has to be on his toes. If he starts thinking about getting his bishop out. But what he's more likely to do is to maybe centralise his knight and get the bishop out that way. This is a 6-10... Oh, hello. Okay, well, I'm immediately doing this. That was an unusual move. Right, how do you protect this? Okay, forget it. But, well done. Well done, good game. I'm going to copy the PGN and I'm going to go to my Russo. Okay, studies white, black, Italian, Rousseau Gambit. So we come to this. Okay, so I can add a new chapter, just like this. And let's go, how did it go? So it's a Rousseau accepted. Black does very well in this position, you know, having with an accepted gambit. I really should, 100% shouldn't have lost that, but we know what I did. We know what my blunders were. Okay, right. Now it's this continuation, and the computer here says bishop takes, right? But knight takes, so bishop takes is the most common move. Knight takes, okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to delete the moves from that point. Okay, I'm going to rename it, and we need a name. We need a name for a new gambit. I don't know. I'm going to put new gambit in for now. Knight takes. Right, and so okay, what are the most common moves then? But look, all lines are good. So the most common moves here, and we are looking, by the way, at 1800 to 2200. I'll drop it down just a little bit. I'm not going to include 2500. So okay, knight f3 is most common. And then bishop c5 or knight c5. Knight c5 is what the engine says. And nobody plays it. Huh. Knight c5 is half a pawn better. And this has never been played, guys. Wow. See, the point is, this bishop's... But surely they're going to do that. Right? We're attacking their bishop. This is a board made for bishops. He's going to want to keep his bishop. Right? He can't go there because the knight will take it for free. So he either stays where he is. I think they're going to do that. And that looks like a blunder. But why? Because of knight b4? With a fork on bishop? What? See, I'm liking this. I like this. Okay, so... Right, I'm going to take this away, and I won't keep you, right, any longer. But I would like to check how many times have I seen this. So I'm going to go to the chess.com Explorer. So I play all my serious games on chess.com, you know. My games is black. Can I paste in a PGO? No. Okay, so we're going to have to try and remember what happened. Can we remember what happened? I know it's a Russo. Russo. What did he do then? I'm going to have to check, aren't I? Knight g1. d3. Okay. So he plays d3 now, and it means naught because of this. He retreated to b3, and then I take. Okay, I have had this situation, I've played this move 22 times. 22! This exact position. Okay, and after DE, interesting. Okay, I've played bishop takes e4 8 times and won 5 of those games. I've played queen e7 3 times, which is a bit inferior because you're blocking in this bishop as well. I've played DE once, right? And I've played knight takes once, only once. Shall we see how that went? Yeah, the bishop took, which is what I think is going to be most natural at these levels. And then the move that we just saw, wasn't it knight c5? No, it was this. Knight b4, wasn't it? Okay, for the knight takes. Oh yeah, so different line. But from here, I think, so knight f3 is 31%, queen takes 18%, and bishop takes only 11. Which is kind of surprising, but that's bad. Okay, and bishop c5 is the best move, and that is what I played there. Bishop, no, it's not. Oh no, it's not at all. It's not at all. Knight b4, and black's winning. We are winning. We're a pawn down, and it's -5. Okay. Most common move here is queen to h5 check. I think you just drop the bishop back, don't you? No, just g6. G6 there. Wowzers. Okay, queen goes home. This is pawn hangs, but actually so does the bishop. We could have the bishop, and yet, oh yeah, and in fact that's what they're saying. The machine's now saying, yes, we should definitely take the bishop. It was saying queen e7 is also really good, but now it's decided that no. Material. Yeah, we're up a bishop for a pawn. That's really cool, isn't it? Cool. Yeah, I mean, shame about the game, but on the other hand, right, I'm going to go away. I'm going to think about a new gambit line in this, because it's not rare, and it could come up, and it could come up over the board as in real life as well. So there you go. We'll leave it there. Say, answers on a postcard. Please put in the comments, what should we call this gambit? Because I like it, and it hasn't got a name. It's still called Rousseau Gambit on Lichess. It's still called Rousseau Gambit here, so there we go. But for, something I've played double figures, yeah, deserves a name of its own. All right, see you later, guys.